Welcome back. California's severe housing crisis further devastated by the deadly wildfires that ripped through L.A. County. More than 12,000 homes and other buildings have been completely destroyed. My next guest says rebuilding will take years, mired by challenges with regulations and a lack of insurance. Joining me now is National Association of Home Builders CEO and President James Tobin. James, thanks very much for being here.
Thanks, Maria. Good to be with you.
Tell us about the rebuild. What are you expecting?
A long haul for those people who've been displaced and lost their homes. It's a very complicated process to rebuild after wildfire, much different certainly than building a new subdivision, and certainly different than recovering from a hurricane or tornado. We're talking about complete losses of structure. So the pace of this is, first we've got to contain the fires. We're not even there yet, but you're talking large debris fields of oftentimes toxic debris that has to be cleared fully away. Then you have to deal with individual insurance policies for each individual policy. That could take 6 to 8 months. Then you've got to hire a builder and then build a home. And at the pace of California construction, you're looking often 6 months at best, but probably 18 months to 2 years before you're really going to fully rebuild. I mean, we're talking years, not months, when it comes to recovery of those homes in California.
I mean, how long would it take to undo some of those policies that have been locked in? I mean, nationwide green energy regulations have driven up the cost of building and the costs of building new homes. Of course, the NAHB and 15 state attorneys general are suing the Department of Housing and Urban Development and the Department of Agriculture over these mandates. And you say it costs an additional $20,000 to $30,000 to build with these rules in place, and that's added to the price of a new home?
That's right. I mean, the Biden administration layered on an energy requirement for new FHA borrowers. If they want to buy a new home in this country starting this year, they're going to have to spend upwards of $20,000 to $30,000 more than they would have last year. And so we've decided to take the case to court. And we believe that the Biden administration has completely outstripped the law that underpins their supposed ability to review energy codes. And let's be honest, they are creating a de facto national energy code with this regulation. And that just further adds to the cost of building a home and the unaffordability we have here. We do not need more costs layered onto homes. And considering what we're going to have to do just in California alone, you can see how regulations keep people out of home ownership in this country.
This week, we saw home builder sentiment unexpectedly rise to a 9-month high. But there are, of course, concerns about Trump's policies and the impact, the proposed tariffs. The 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is now back above 7% for the first time since May. I've spoken with many people who say his policies are actually anti-inflationary. But do you worry about the impact on housing?
I think we have to take President Trump at his word. We've got immigration concerns. We have gotten tariff concerns. I can speak for my members when they're looking forward to an environment for the next 4 years of deregulation, which when you couple things together, that is going to do more to help spur home construction in this country than even the potential headwinds of tariffs or immigration. I really believe that we have to wait until after inauguration on Monday to see what this president does just in the first few hours and days with executive orders, and then engage with him and take him and all of his policies holistically. Previous guests talk about Doge and Elon Musk and about cutting government spending and waste. That is critically important too. It is a whole puzzle of different pieces that are going to lead to economic growth and prosperity, I believe. And yes, there may be some headwinds in one corner, but there are going to be some real wins out here for us. And I know this president is convinced and convicted about building more homes in this country to defeat the affordability crisis we have. And let's wait till after inauguration next Monday to see how things shape up.
All right, James, we'll be watching. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Maria.